We're live? Here on the mountaintop, the mountaintop, the mountaintop, here on the mountaintop. I'll give it a couple minutes, let some people come in here on this election day in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. We are in a beautiful area, actually, literally the mountaintop, if you're feeling biblical. But I'll give it a couple minutes, so I don't have to do this multiple times. But as you can see, there's a decent line to get into this polling place. Mountain Top House Company number 1 here in Luzerne County, Pennsylvania, which is in the northeastern part of the state. I'll give you the significance of Luzerne in a minute or two. If you're already here, press the like button, the thumbs up button right under the live stream. Share the live stream. Get this out to as many people as possible. This morning, the lines here were very long. And from everything I've been seeing on social media and the media reporting, here in Luzerne County, there's been a steady flow of high turnout throughout the election day. Why that's important is because I'm just talking about Pennsylvania now, not the rest of the states. But Pennsylvania, Trump only won by less than a point. And part of the reason he won was two things. Number one, stealing some counties from Obama. So there were 3 counties that switched from Obama in 2012 to Trump in 2016. This was one of them. Luzerne County went for Obama in 2012 by 5%, almost 5 percentage points. It really reversed in 2016. It switched for Trump. He won by almost 20 percentage points. So that's, if my math is right, that's almost 50. I don't know. That's a big move, going from 5% for Obama in 2012 to 16% for Trump. So if Trump's going to win Pennsylvania, he's got to juice up the turnout right here in Luzerne and in other counties, particularly in the southwest part of the state, Allegheny County, as well as Butler County. But in the northeastern part of the state where we are now, which is primarily, blue-collar workers, that sort of thing, his only chance is not only to keep most of the voters he got here in places like Luzerne. Again, only 3 counties switched from Obama to Trump. Luzerne was one of them, Erie County, which is all the way northwest, and Northampton, which is about an hour from where we are now. So if Trump is going to, really, it would be an upset. If he wins Pennsylvania, he's got to really juice up the turnout here. This line goes around just a little bit longer to that side. But from what I've seen from social media, this line right now was actually longer this morning. Obviously, on election day, you got really long lines in the morning, people going before work. Then you get, it slows down a little bit. Then during lunch, you see an uptick. And I assume around 4 or 5 o'clock, you're going to see longer lines. But we'll see what happens. I'm not big on predictions. But I do think it's a good sign, if you're Trump in Pennsylvania, that you've had a steady flow. And this is just one polling place. We've seen online and social media long lines throughout Luzerne County. We also know that Republican voters are going to vote on Election Day significantly more than Democratic voters. The other key here in Pennsylvania, which honestly, it can get a little sticky, is the mail-in ballots and whether there's going to be court issues. So let me just give you the statistic. In 2012, in Pennsylvania, there were only 3 million absentee ballots. So, not a small number, but not huge. 3 million absentee ballots. So far, there has been 266,000. Excuse me, I got it reversed. In 2016, there were 266,000 absentee ballots. Now, so far, 3 million this time. So that's a huge increase. Absentee ballots, meaning the mail-in ballots. It's been a little controversial. Trump basically did not want the deadline for those mail-in ballots to count beyond Election Day. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court decided it would allow mail-in ballots to be counted up to 3 days after Election Day, as long as they're postmarked by Election Day. So those 3 days are important, particularly since the Supreme Court decided that they were basically not going to hear the case, because the Republican Party of Pennsylvania sent it to the Supreme Court. They appealed the state court here's decision. They sent it to the Supreme Court, frankly hoping a Republican Supreme Court would stop, not allow that extension by 3 days, which could be the difference between Biden winning or losing here, but primarily Trump winning or losing here. However, the Supreme Court, particularly the Republican judges, kind of left it open that they might revisit that appeal to them after Election Day. Well, what does that mean? If it's really, really close, or Trump looks like he's winning significantly here on Election Day, could his now 6-3 Republican Supreme Court decide, no, after all, we don't think they should have 3 days to count here. So it's significant. By the way, if you don't know this, Neil Gorsuch, Brett Kavanaugh, and I'm pretty sure, you'll have to check me on this, Jen, pretty sure Amy Coney Barrett, 3 of the Supreme Court justices worked on George W. Bush's legal team for the 2000 recount. So if that gives you an idea where their mind is at in terms of trying to allow more time for counting, allow more ballots, versus trying to stop the counting, stop more time for ballots. Amy Coney Barrett did. I know Kavanaugh did, and I think Gorsuch did too. So keep pressing the like button. Keep sharing this live stream. Press subscribe if you're new here. We're kind of playing it by ear here. Tonight, this would be something. Tonight, there is a big Democratic Party, Luzerne County Democratic Party, actually, 2 parties, here in Luzerne County. They have a DJ, I'm told, and it's going to be a big thing. I'm not really in love with going to Democratic Party shindigs, because I'm not really big on the Democratic Party, nor the Republican Party. However, we might go to this Luzerne County Democratic Party shindig because it could make really good internet. On one end, if Biden wins by a landslide, they'll be happy and, greased up. We could kind of show you that. We'll challenge them a little bit. We'll try not to rain on their parade. But on the other end, if it's close or Trump is winning, let me tell you something. That's going to be a lot of sad puppy dog neoliberals. And I'd love to get that on camera, too. So we might go there tonight around 8 o'clock Eastern time. I know there's a lot of different outlets going live. We hope you'll be with us. Say that again? Oh, so it was John Roberts, Kavanaugh, and Amy Coney Barrett worked on George W. Bush's legal team for the recount in 2000. I want to show you something else at this polling location. To be clear, I don't really know Pennsylvania election law, so this might be nothing. However, I don't have my measurement stick. There are certain laws, not just in Pennsylvania, but everywhere, about electioneering near a polling place. I think you need to be, what is it, Jen, 50 feet or 50 something away. You can't put signage up or 100 yards. I don't know. Anyway, there's a massive Trump-Pence sign. I mean, basically right next to the stairs where people are walking up to vote. There's some other signs far below it. There is a Biden-Harris sign. But if you could see, the Trump-Pence sign is pretty massive in the back there. And then the Biden-Harris sign looks like a little old P there. So you're not supposed to have signage within 10 feet. Yeah, so I would say that's, I don't know. Does that look like 10 feet to you? So it's close. It's close. I don't think it's going to decide the election or anything, but it just shows you, it's not surprising because this county, like we said, went to Trump by 20 points, almost 20 points last time. The other thing, honestly, since it's become a culture war, you could get a feel when you're looking at the line, which voters are Trump, which voters might go either way. I've seen some voters not wearing masks. That kind of gives you an indication they might be leaning towards Trump because these crazy people have, concocted mask wearing as a, whoa, Timothy, $49.99. Thank you for the hard work you guys do. You guys rock. Thank you so much, Timothy. Keep those super chats coming. Really appreciate it. We got 400 people watching on Election Day. Please smash that like button. Share this live stream. I got to tell you, I know there's a lot of predictions out there. I'm not going to give a prediction, but I personally, something in me feels like this is going to be a lot closer than the polls indicate, and a lot closer than even the, pundit experts that are predicting a Biden landslide indicate. I have never agreed with the dismissal of rallies and crowd size. I think when you're Trump during a pandemic, by the way, yesterday here in Pennsylvania, they had basically the largest amount of coronavirus cases since the beginning of the pandemic. It was 2,800, I believe. So even during a pandemic, Trump yesterday had nearly 10,000 people in Wilkes-Barre, where we were. These other rallies he's been having around Pennsylvania, as well as Michigan and other states, massive, massive crowds. And if you don't think those people, or most of them, are going out on Election Day, I think you're wrong. And the other case is, let's face it, there's going to be legal challenges, there's going to be court challenges, and it might go all the way up to the Supreme Court. Maybe before it turns 6-3, you could make the argument that when it was a 5-4 Supreme Court, I don't know, Chief Justice John Roberts seemed to care very much about, the, credibility of the court. He voted with the liberals on Obamacare. He voted with the liberals on a few other things. But now that it's 6-3, even if Chief Justice Roberts were to side with the 3 remaining liberals in terms of an Election Day matter, in terms of extending the amount of time to count mail-in ballots, those kind of things, the Republicans still have that extra vote. I don't think Amy Coney Barrett's coming in voting against Trump, personally. So we'll see what happens. I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but let's see what happens. People on voting lines typically don't like to talk, but I'll try anyway. Again, keep pressing the like button. Keep sharing this live stream. The more people that press the like button, the more people that will see this. Also, we, as far as I know, are one of the few outlets actually out there in the trenches. We covered a super spreader Trump event yesterday. We were very careful, masks, hand sanitizing, the whole thing. And we're obviously out in the field today. So if you're not a Status Coup member, I don't really know what you're doing. Sign up, statuscoup.com/join. You can become a member for just $5 a month. It makes a huge difference. And we're going to have some behind-the-scenes content in the field while we're here. GoFundMe also is very important. We're trying to raise more money because honestly, I think the news is just getting started. This might not be Election Day. This might be election week. God forbid, it might be election month. So we might need to stay out here longer than we expected. So please, super chat, GoFundMe. We appreciate it. Let's see what's going on here. So the line, honestly, hasn't really seemed like it's moving quickly. I haven't spoken with anyone yet who's come out, but I would guess you're looking over here at least an hour wait, it seems to me. Could be longer than that. I don't know. We do have most people wearing masks, if that's any type of political indicator. I'm not sure. Let's see. How long has everybody been waiting out here so far?
15 minutes.
Oh, that's it? Okay. Not bad. Not bad at all.
Interesting. There's like no lines in Mountaintop. There at the Family Church, there's no lines. At Crestwood, there's no lines. We were at Rice, and there was like about an hour and a half line. So this is like the hot spot to be right now.
This morning I saw really long lines from here and a couple other places, so it might just be
7 to 8:30, it was like packed.
Yeah.
And then it kind of went down to a lull. Then at lunchtime, it got busy. But this is the place to be right now. I said they must be giving away something free in there.
This county went for Trump by nearly 20 points in 2016. Are you anticipating him to win this county again?
Sure are. We're ready to bring Trump back, and hopefully Jim Bognett. And yeah, I think Pennsylvania is going to bring it home. So,
it's interesting because all the polls have indicated him down, other states too, but Pennsylvania. But then you look at these rallies he's been having the last few days. I was just at the one in Wilkes-Barre, and it's like 10,000 people. It seems like a lot more turnout maybe for Republicans on Election Day.
I think people just are quiet. And, maybe deep down they really know we've had a phenomenal economy the last 4 years. He was given some a tricky subject with the whole pandemic. But I think deep down people know that Trump's the right choice. They want a voice. They don't want to be told what to do. But they're not being outspoken about it. But when they go to vote, I think they're making the Trump choice.
I think what you're talking about is what we hear called the shy Trump voter, the shy that doesn't necessarily tell pollsters things.
Right, exactly, 100%. So, you hear a lot of it, even just, this is my cousin running for Congress, and, a lot of people are like, giving me the thumbs up, and they don't verbalize it. So, which is fine, that's why we're here in America, right? To make a freedom of choice. So it's exciting. We've got a great weather. God bless with a great day, sunshine. So we're hoping for the best.
What do you think in terms of the mail-in ballots? Because it's already at 3 million mail-in ballots here in Pennsylvania. So it could look today, like towards tonight, it could look like the president's winning here. But then they have up to 3 days to count those. Obviously, he's not happy about it. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, we're all kind of in the same boat. We're not crazy about the mail-in ballots. I was mailed one, wasn't supposed to, so I had to bring it to the ballot. They shred it, and then you can make your own. You can actually vote. So I don't know. I think it's going to be a couple days, unfortunately. But
let me ask you about Biden, because I saw some chatter on Twitter. He went over to Scranton. He likes to call himself a Scranton guy. But a lot of people online were saying he's not really from Scranton. There seems to be a little pushback on his kind of marketing as Scranton Joe.
Yeah, well, I think, it's Sleeping Joe. But unfortunately, I've lived here my whole life. We never see him here. Even Matt Cartwright. We don't see Matt Cartwright. It's more, all of a sudden they're Scranton Joe. All of a sudden they're Luzerne County Matt Cartwright. And unfortunately, that's not how it should be, especially with Congress. And, they're for the people. And so they need to be with the people. They need to talk to the people and understand the people. So, we feel Trump's that way. Jim is one of us, and we're hoping that it goes that way.
And lastly, you mentioned the economy, obviously, before the pandemic. There was a manufacturing recession last year. It dipped about 1.3%. So have you seen, like in this area, manufacturing coming back like President spoke of?
I do. And my family's involved in Luzerne County, and I keep hearing like there's more manufacturing coming, the industrial parks. They're saying that Hazleton's going to be the new Allentown. So it's coming, it's just kind of got a little tricky in the last couple months. So we're excited, and we want people that are from here to stay here, because this is where their family is. This is where they grew up. This is what they know. And if they can't get good jobs, what's the use? So we're hoping, to bring those jobs back so people can stay where their family is.
What's your name?
Alicia Gamba.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. So that's one enthusiastic Trump supporter. Very nice. And by the way, I don't know if you could show them this, but really, like, they call it the mountaintop for a reason. This is a really nice area. Like she said, the weather's not so bad today. Yesterday was pretty cold. But yeah, so from what they're saying, they've only been waiting for 15 minutes, so not bad. I think in other parts of Luzerne County, it kind of fluctuates. This morning, I was seeing a lot of chatter about really long lines. So it could just be that more people voted before work. You might see an uptick here after work. So it really depends. But like I said, Trump, he's really going to have to not only get equal the number of voters that came out for him here in 2016, he's going to have to increase it. We do know, not here, but in, Johnston, which is the southwest part of the state, In Johnston, where it's very Republican, since 2016, they've had an increase of 8,000 Republicans register, and they lost 7,000 Democrats. So theoretically, if Trump, meets the turnout from 2016 and increases it slightly, he could win Pennsylvania. The other thing is, and this isn't only a Pennsylvania issue, this is around the country. I don't know, Jen. Was there an independent outlet screaming, not that I care about the Democrats, but screaming, I don't know, Joe Biden, maybe not the best idea to be courting John Kasich, Colin Powell, Meg Whitman, Bill Kristol, David Frum. Maybe you should really be honing in and trying to, I don't know, give younger black people, younger Latinos, African-American males, black Latinos, something. Because if you have two buckets in terms of voting groups, one is the moderate Republicans, which I don't really think the majority would come out for Biden. And then you have the black and Latino vote, which could be a more persuadable group. Well, I reported yesterday there are leaders, politicians, and activists in Philadelphia in particular that have been sounding the alarm that the enthusiasm is just not there for Joe Biden, particularly among black voters, that Hispanic voters have been returning their ballots at a much slower rate. That's in Philadelphia. I mean, Biden he's going to win Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. That's not a question. Traditional Democratic strongholds, larger black population in terms of voting. But it's all about the numbers, because in the states, it is the popular vote, whoever wins the popular vote. So if he's not really having that level of enthusiasm in Philadelphia among black people and Latino, that could make the difference. And we'll see what happens in Detroit, where Hillary Clinton underperformed among black people in 2016. Milwaukee, where Hillary Clinton underperformed in 2016. I find it interesting. I don't particularly think Joe Biden and Kamala Harris would be barnstorming Pennsylvania for the last 3 or 4 days if their polling, not the public polling, but their internal polling, it has to show it closer internally than it has been in the polls, the public polls statewide. The public polls in Pennsylvania have fluctuated between about 6 and 8 points. On one end you could say, well, maybe their internal polls still show him winning, but they want to definitively get it. Could be, but in the final days before an election, that's precious time. So the fact that he was here so much makes me think that they might feel Pennsylvania is closer. The other thing is Nate Silver, the elitist geek himself, he said if Biden loses Pennsylvania, he actually becomes the underdog. So that's how important Pennsylvania is in terms of the outcome. Let's see if we could talk to some other folks. How you guys doing? I assume this isn't your first time voting here? No? Allegheny County, it went to Trump by a lot last time. What are you expecting this time? It seems like there's high turnout today.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good.
Good?
Yep.
And what do you think in terms of Pennsylvania itself? They're saying it's critical to whether Trump wins re-election or Biden wins.
I don't know about that, but we'll see.
I like your dog. Very cute. So, didn't seem to want to talk, but that's okay. So, the line's still going around. We do have, I've seen most people wearing masks, so that's a good thing. Keep pressing the like button, keep sharing. There's a bunch of different polling places that we are going to try to hit. It's really hit or miss. We went to one before. There was really no line. This one has a little bit longer of a line. So it really depends just what time you get there, that kind of thing. There was also, Jen, you saw on social media that there were issues with delays in some of the polling places opening. There was issues with, I think I saw one where the machines weren't working or something like that.
Yeah, so some of the reports aren't verified. People can go on social media and say whatever they want, but what we do have verified based on election officials, some of the machines weren't ready to go, so there were at least 2 locations in Luzerne County that were 2 hours delayed in getting started, which meant people had to leave for work. They couldn't stay in line and vote. So no, exact numbers on how many people that affected and how many people are now not going to have their what would have been their vote counted, and no idea of how many people are still having issues with that, or if those issues are ongoing. According to social media, they are ongoing. So we're looking into it.
And what's interesting to me is even though they're for the most part wearing masks, you could kind of tell sometimes subtle things. While I was reporting and talking about Trump's chances, most of them were looking at me, and I got a vibe that they like Trump. That was my vibe. Could be wrong, but at least they're wearing masks, so that's a positive thing. But as you can see, it's still kind of wrapping around. They say they've only been waiting for 15 minutes, but I don't particularly see the line moving that fast, so we'll see.
So actually, I just opened up my notes to refresh here. This location actually was one that had issues. So a poll worker had to come out and announce after they were delayed in opening that they didn't have the passwords available to unlock the voting machines. So a line of hundreds were lined up here at the fire department, and they had been waiting for an hour, and finally they came out and announced what had been going on. So technical issues like that. There was an elementary school in Wilkes-Barre where the polls didn't open until 8:45, which was 2 hours late, and those poll workers said that they were having trouble accessing the voter database to sign people in.
Ooh, scandalous.
Yeah, not great. Not great.
But we'll see. I think I see my first MAGA hat, so I'll definitely hit that guy up in a bit.
Which is not, I don't know about Pennsylvania, but I don't think you're supposed to wear things with your preferred candidates, like symbols or name on them to
Really?
vote. I don't think so.
Well, this is the United Corporations of America, so I thought we had some semblance of freedom, but apparently not. So the other thing I find interesting, and by the way, we have almost 700 people watching. Please smash that like button. Please share this live stream. The more people that press the like button, the more people that will see the live stream. We love your super chats, if you could be so kind. It's not cheap. We got to pay John behind the cameraman. Jen and I need to eat. We do a lot of traveling, so our financial needs are a little bit more, a lot more actually, than a lot of other outlets that we all know and love. I know that there's a lot of outlets live tonight, so it'll be competitive, but I don't know. I'm thinking it would be pretty interesting to go to the neoliberal Democratic Party shindig with the DJ, because it will either be a bunch of, neoliberals celebrating, and that could be interesting, or another, very Debbie Downer, quasi-terrified if the results are looking very, very positive for Trump. Should we go to this thing tonight?
I definitely think we should. So we were trying to figure out what was going on election night, if there would be anything going on, because obviously we're in the middle of a pandemic. So randomly last night, I was like, I'm going to call the Luzerne County Democrats. I didn't even know if that was really a thing. So I called, they answered. And so the way she described it, they're having a DJ, they're having food, I think. They're going to have a bunch of screens displaying the election results. So the woman sounded pumped up. So obviously we are open about the fact that we're not Biden supporters. We've both disclosed that we did in the end vote for Biden. Again, that does not mean we're Biden fans. It means we view Trump ourselves as an existential threat. So I do think it'll be good, because either way, it'll be honestly good content. If Trump tries to steal this, historically getting true Biden supporters' reactions is important.
And I just want to show you, now we have the VIP line of apparently some voters think they can park wherever they want. Well, that's okay. Oh, never mind. She's got a broken ankle. I'll allow it. I was criticizing, but I could tell she's got a boot on her foot. So it's okay. That's okay. So, yeah.
Alyssa Burke, thanks for the super chat. Keep those super chats coming.
Keep those super chats coming. And it's interesting because honestly, Trump, I don't know. It just seems like watching him the last few days, it kind of seems like a defeated man. I mean, I heard him yesterday at the rally we covered, which had 10,000 people, most of them maskless. They were packed like sardines. It's definitely going to increase the coronavirus problem and cases. But he was more discombobulated than ever. I mean, usually he kind of is stream of consciousness at these rallies. He bounces around from one thing to the other. But in this particular speech, it was just incoherent. Like, there was no topics. He just was like admiring the flag, Hunter Biden, but nothing really about the next 4 years or why you should go out and vote for him. It was kind of like an open mic night version of Trump. And honestly, I couldn't even hear him at some points. He wasn't that loud, so maybe his voice was hoarse. But we heard him before we got here, and he was kind of seemed, frankly, a little tired because he's been doing all these rallies across the country, but kind of resigned to the fact that he might lose. He even said, winning's easy, but losing is a lot harder, particularly for me. So he did kind of acknowledge that the fact that he might lose, which is, different than the usual bluster you hear from Trump. So let's see what's going on.
1 second. So, Emmett Campbell, $5 in the super chat. Thank you so much. Tanya Bussell, thank you so much. Also, you guys can keep saying all the nice things you want about me. One more thing. In the Discord, don't forget, if you're a member, please go there. We're talking election. I'm sharing tons of behind the scenes photos, videos, funny stuff, serious stuff, election talk. If you're not a member yet, statuscoup.com/join. $5. It's fun. Promise you tons of behind the scenes stuff. Go there.
Okay, so let's see if anyone else will dare to chat with us. 1 2 1 2. Can I chat with anyone here? Talk about Luzerne County being critical to President Trump's chances? No takers yet, huh? No takers. Okay. That's fine. So you have people not wanting to talk, which is kind of normal for polling places, but we'll see if we can get somebody before we go. Another person just coming out here. Looks like, again, they said over there that they were waiting for 15 minutes, so could be longer. How long did it take for you to vote, ma'am?
Maybe about an hour, 45 minutes.
Oh, okay. That's good. No, everything was kind of seamless here, no issues.
Who are you with?
Status Coup. We're a YouTube channel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, thanks. There you go. So, that's always interesting because it's actually on both sides. On one end, you go to these Trump rallies, and the minute you challenge them, they look at your press badge and want to know who you're with. But then there's kind of these, older folk who, the minute you start asking them questions, like, who are you with? Because if you're not like propaganda like CNN, they don't want to talk to you. So that's always interesting. But the line is going around. And I expect it. What time is it now? It's 2:30. I would think around 4 o'clock, 4:30, 5 o'clock. It's going to get a lot busier here because people, come when they're done with work, that kind of thing. So we'll see what happens. But I see. It's a steady turn here as opposed to the last place we were at, which really was no line at all. So we'll see what happens, but I think we're going to go try to check out some other polling places too. Right now is kind of, I would say, the calm before the storm. I think it will get more interesting, not just in Pennsylvania, but statewide, nationally, around 4 or 5 o'clock. You'll start seeing longer lines. I think you're going to start seeing, particularly look out for areas that have higher black populations, people having issues voting, because of course the voter suppression all around the country. We remember during the primary that horrible view in Louisville, Kentucky, of black people banging on the window to get in at the last minute, and they wouldn't let them in. Hopefully that doesn't happen here in Pennsylvania, but we will see. But I think most people don't seem to want to chat before they go in, which is kind of unfortunate.
People will when they come out. More?
Yeah, we'll wait till people come out. But let's see.
Tommy's diary says, love seeing you all out in the streets while everyone else is inside.
Yes, everyone else is inside. That's a good point. And this is a humble brag because we love all our friends in progressive media. But I have to be honest with you, it's a lot easier. I mean, my life would be a lot easier if we were another group of guys and gals just pontificating in a studio. I would love to be Joe Rogan right now with, how many does he have? 8 million subscribers. So it's no knock on them. There's certainly room for everybody and room for commentators that, don't go out there. But I think this has a unique value because it actually, if I were to one day be a commentator and only a commentator, it gives you a perspective that others frankly don't have. I mean, I remember, not to make this about the Young Turks, but I remember when I was at the Young Turks getting in arguments with Cenk, and I would say to him, like, yeah, you're kind of out of touch because you live in an LA bubble. That's not just Cenk, but if you don't go out there, if you're largely just in a studio and your information is like reading the Huffington Post or Twitter, you're going to be a little disconnected from the real pulse and mood on the ground. Whereas if you're constantly out there, all over, I mean, we've been everywhere. If you're an original OG Status Quoer, you've seen us all over this country on a shoestring budget. It gives you a lot more connection to what people are going through, the struggles, the political temperature, so to speak, what people are thinking. My feeling in Pennsylvania, I think, not just because we're on the ground here, but just knowing Pennsylvania, knowing these Rust Belt states, I think it's going to be a lot closer than the polls have indicated. The first woman that we interviewed said what I think a lot of Trump voters feel, that they kind of keep it to themselves. They don't like broadcast that they're Trump supporters. If a pollster called them, they might not speak with them, or maybe they wouldn't volunteer that they're for Trump. Whether that shy Trump voter closes a 6 to 7 point polling gap here in Pennsylvania, that remains to be seen. But it is real. The shy Trump voter is real. That's a whole nother socio and psychological debate about why it is they don't want to openly say they're for Trump. That speaks for itself. But I think it's legitimate. So, can you go see if anyone wants to chat? So let's see what you guys are thinking while we go to interview more people. Wow, 750 people watching. Keep pressing that like button. Keep sharing. Status Coup is always on the ground where the activism is. TYT has always been a studio potatoes show. I didn't say it. You said it. I didn't say it. Jordan, you should do commentary. I could see you on CNN as a pundit destroying them. Do you think... Who said that? I don't know who said that. Do you honestly think that if I went on CNN, I'd ever be invited back? Because I would not go on and, sugarcoat things. I've seen some of our progressive friends go on there, and you can make the debate, well, Jordan, don't go on and burn down the village because you want to get invited back on. But I'd say, what's the point of going on there if you're going to sugarcoat things, if you're going to... So we got somebody here. By the way, it's really beautiful out. Who are we talking to? Hello. So Luzerne County, pretty critical, I would say. It was one of the counties that the president took away. Obama won it in 2012. What are you thinking today? From what we've seen in the media, there's pretty significant turnout here.
Yeah, we are glad to see the turnout. I know there are a lot of Trump supporters. We've seen them at the rallies. I think there's a lot of hidden Biden supporters as well. Maybe not. They didn't have the same kind of rallies because of the COVID. So, we see the turnout is a good thing for Biden as well.
It's interesting because I talked to somebody else who kind of alluded to, there's more Trump supporters, but they kind of keep it quiet. And you're saying there might be more Biden supporters that we know. It seems like, obviously, there's a lot of people that broadcast who they support, but there's also a lot of people that kind of don't want to say who they're for.
Biden supporters are more low-key. They're not driving around with flags and beeping their horns. Right. So that's probably why you don't hear that much from them.
Right. And we see a lot of trucks with flags on them. We see a lot of people in the neighborhood have a lot of Trump signs, a lot more than there are Biden. So that's why we tend to think that the Biden supporters are there, but low-key.
So they're not circling Trump buses in Texas? Did you see that? Oh, that was something.
I don't think so.
It's interesting because Trump talked a lot about bringing manufacturing jobs back, all that. Obviously, we have a pandemic now, so that's all. But have you seen any uptick in this area or Pennsylvania in general with manufacturing coming back? Because obviously PA was hit hard in the 90s, 2000s.
It's hard to say because I worked home from March until June, and then I wanted to go back to the office. There's 3 people in my office. the traffic seems like everybody's working. The traffic hasn't really slowed down like it did for that first 3-4 months. There was no one on 309. Now, it seems like it's back to bumper to me, but that's just where I'm coming from. I can't speak for people coming from Scranton or Hazleton or Dallas area. They might still.
What we see in this area is a lot of like warehousing jobs. Chewy.com is here. You know, we have an Amazon up in Hazleton. So a lot of distribution jobs, not really manufacturing. And it's because of the location. We're near the interstates. So that has been a steady increase, you know, even before Trump. So we don't really see any increase in manufacturing.
Do you feel like this election between Biden and Trump was really about policies and the vision for the future as much as Biden saying Trump bad, put me in, Trump saying Biden, you know, sleepy, put me in? It didn't seem like there was a large policy debate.
I think personally it's a referendum on Trump, this election. I mean, why else would there be these massive lines in the early voting, you know, the absentee ballots and whatnot? It has to be a referendum on him. Nobody got out. He didn't get that kind of turnout previously. Maybe with Al Gore and Bush he did, but not like this.
3 million so far mail-in ballots, which is huge. 266,000 last time.
And a lot of these states that are getting them now, they may not be as adept at counting them as like Florida does, who's been doing it forever. Right. This is new to PA.
And it seems like the president's not happy about that it's being counted now 3 days.
It's a terrible shame.
I get a feel for who you're voting for. It's interesting to me because right, but you know, couldn't he have? He's got some senior voters, particularly in Florida. Couldn't he have been encouraging people this whole time? I'm sure, you know, his followers seem to follow a lot of what he tells them. It seems like he didn't really play the game strategically in that way.
I think his followers are more cult-like.
Yeah, I was at the super spreader yesterday. Yeah.
I mean, really out and about at the super spreaders? I don't know. I like science. I say, wear a mask, stay in. That's just my opinion.
One of them told me yesterday he doesn't wear it because it's annoying. I said, what's more annoying, death?
Yeah, what about being in a respirator or you know, I don't even know what those machines are called now. The what?
Ventilators.
The ventilators, that's what it's called. Yeah.
And Leslie, you know, are you more excited to vote for Biden or just against Trump? Because I'm not really hearing across the country so much of rah, rah, Joe as it is like, you know, get this man out of there.
It's probably more against Trump. I might have preferred another Democrat, but, you know, that's just me.
Okay. Because Bernie was pretty popular in some parts of Pennsylvania.
I think with Biden, it's a level of decency in even in the way he speaks.
Exactly.
So a lot of us just find it repulsive when there's name calling. There's a lot of lies. So those things are turnoffs for us. So
Exactly.
And
Trump has lost a lot of the, I guess, suburban woman vote, which. Yeah.
Well, you act like an orangutan. You have to expect that.
Yeah, I think
like
COVID is an issue too. Not acknowledging it, and it really wouldn't have taken much for him to just wear a mask and say go with science. And I don't think he would be in the lower.
It's interesting because when he was doing the daily press briefings, March, April, his polling was a lot higher. Because at least, I mean, I thought the things he was saying was a little wacky, but at least it seemed like he was taking action, taking it seriously. But then he started with, you know, attacking Fauci and sidelining Fauci and Birx. Now he has this guy Atlas who doesn't seem to even think you should wear masks. So it seems like he's been listening to like I don't know, Alex Jones more than Fauci.
Yes, and yesterday to hear the crowd say fire Fauci with him, I'm thinking, what are they thinking, really?
Right.
So that's the disappointing side.
Right. What's your name?
Stan Garbage.
I'm Roseanne.
Thank you. Like your mask. Very nice. And you can see us on Status Coup. We're live now. Thanks, guys. So there you have it. Obviously, you could kind of tell after a while that they were for Biden. I don't like asking directly who you're voting for. It's nobody's business. They don't need to share it. But I think that's kind of, honestly, if you look at like 2016, for example, I always thought, a mildly inspiring paper bag could have beat Donald Trump. I think Hillary Clinton was not the right candidate to go up against Donald Trump. I think if it was Bernie against Donald Trump, I think Bernie would be running for re-election right now. I think he would have crushed Trump. And now, I think if it was, frankly, I think if Marco Rubio were running against Biden, Marco Rubio would be winning significantly. I think if it was Mitt Romney, for example, running against Biden, I think he'd be winning. I think if it was Nikki Haley or one of these, Republican creatures, they'd be winning. Because there's really, there's no there, particularly with Biden. It's just like they said. And I think if you polled most Biden voters, I mean, it showed in the polls, the enthusiasm for Biden was never high. I think the last poll I showed that measured enthusiasm, like 30-something% of Biden voters said they were particularly enthused about him. So Biden, like Obama also, is a lucky politician. He's also lucky because, frankly, the Democratic Party, the DNC, rigged it for him. I mean, Bernie was 10 days. Let's not get our PTSD going. But Bernie was 10 days from basically clinching the nomination. Clyburn obviously made a big difference for Biden in South Carolina. But then you look at that few days between South Carolina and Super Tuesday. I mean, Obama from the background, very heavy-handed, making phone calls, making deals. I'm sure Pete will be ambassador to somewhere. He gets Pete to drop out. He gets Amy to drop out. And before Beto comes out of retirement to be on with, who's calling me while I'm live? Beto comes out of retirement. MSNBC, CNN are airing that whole rally with Biden, Amy, Pete. And then, the media just slams Bernie for daring to say anything good about Fidel Castro. So, if you looked at the exit polls during the Democratic primary, nearly half of Biden's supporters that voted for him on Super Tuesday made up their mind in those final days. I would say $100 million of free advertising for Joe Biden. That's not a made-up number. The New York Times reported that number. He got $100 million of free advertising between South Carolina and Super Tuesday, helped him clinch the nomination. Bernie obviously made mistakes, which we've gone over and then some. So that's my little recap of the Democratic primary. So lines still going around, pretty strong. Most people wearing masks, so that's positive. I don't know. You want to chat? Okay. So, we'll see if we can talk to some other people. Keep pressing the like button. Keep sharing this live stream. Lovely, lovely people here in Luzerne County. Again, most of them wearing masks, so that's positive. We should say, hi. Maybe they know us. So keep pressing the like button. What's the audience thinking? I like talking to the peeps. Are they hearing about any fuckery? Oh, 860 people watching. Can we get this to 1,000? Do it for Jen. Smash that like button. Share this live stream. By the way, just so you know, we just passed 93,000 subscribers. Whisper of a Dream. Can we hit 100?
Don't use that.
Oh, right. I don't want to use TYT. Can we hit 100,000 before the end of the year? By the way, I'm just letting you know. It's not like in the United Corporations of America, because we do live in a major, major corporation. It's not like it's election day and then we could all go back to brunch. I know a lot of people want to do that. We're not going back to brunch. Frankly, we can't afford brunch. We are going to be back out there, within safety. Obviously, coronavirus is exploding all over the country, which it's really, really, it shows you the stakes here. I'm not one of these people that says this is the most important election of our lifetime. They say that about every election. It's usually not true. I'm actually starting to think we need to start moving outside of electoral politics. And we've talked about we need economic boycotts in this country. We need something like a general strike. We could all protest and march till we're blue in the face all over this country until you start hitting the real power players, which is not Biden, by the way, and it's not Trump. It's Bezos, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, the actual donors who have bought this government. Until you start hitting them in the wallet, I'm not talking about violence, that's how change is going to happen. However, it is important to vote. I encourage that. But I will say, We don't know what's going to happen. I could have complete egg on my face later. It could be a massive Biden landslide, but it could also be a lot closer. It could not be decided today. This could be election week. We could have court challenges that make this thing go for a month. We don't know. So we're going to be out there regardless. What am I missing?
So people are, some people are, lamenting the loss of Bernie, of course.
Sorry I brought it up. PTSD.
People are agreeing to not use the TYT phrase. Just a feeling of, I think
What could have been?
What could have been, for sure. The economic boycott is very popular. I think people are truly disenchanted with electoral politics. Someone said...
Frankly, I think most people on this line are disenchanted from the people we spoke about.
Well, someone said it's selection day, not election day, which I think is appropriate.
Well, I actually think it's interesting because if you look at the Trump voters we've spoken to, particularly yesterday, we've posted a bunch of those on YouTube. If you missed, my favorite is the guy who looks like he just left Woodstock telling me that coronavirus is really just a secret Democratic cabal to essentially hand over the United States to China. I try to be respectful of people, but I had to just tell him, like, dude, love you, respectfully. This is batshit crazy what you're saying. Somebody's got to just tell it to your face. He actually nodded. So I don't know, John. It struck me that I think he's one of those people that kind of is looking for the cameras, likes the whole shtick. Bit of a grifter. I don't know if he really believes everything he was saying. Another guy is a doctor. I don't know of what, but he makes a case against masks. I said, do you believe in seatbelts? They're not 100% guaranteed to save your life, but it dramatically increases the chance of saving your life. He said, of course. I'm like, then what is the difference? What is the difference? Why wouldn't you wear a mask if it could help you by 10%? And he, talked about statistics and blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, there's just the annoying people who say, oh, it's annoying to wear a mask. Okay, well, I had coronavirus. That's more annoying. The people who have lost loved ones, that's pretty annoying.
So here comes an entire slew of children not wearing masks.
Right.
Also, guys, he misspoke. It's not Luzerne County. It's Luzerne County.
Did I?
You guys are so funny.
Let me tell you something.
It's not Laverne and Shirley.
Let me tell you something. For the new Status Coup viewers here, I always keep it real, to the point of TMI. But there's certain things not moving in my system, and I think it's affecting my brain. I'm not going to the bathroom regularly, and I think it's affecting my brain because it's also affecting my sleep. So my apologies. Luzerne County, not Laverne. Slip of the tongue. Could you go ask Trump 45 if she'll talk?
Before I do that, $10 in the super chat from Alex E for the brunch fund. Thank you so much, Alex. You are a hero. We actually have not eaten today, but we will. We'll eat. Darren Levy, 5 pounds, I think. Oh. Thank you, Darren. Would Bernie give it one more shot in 2024 before his end? No, I don't think he will.
What, do you want to cryogenically freeze the man? I mean, he's going to be... He's about to be 80 next year.
Oh, poor Bernie. But
Nina might.
When we eventually get Medicare for all, it will be because of Bernie. Also, I want to say before I go grab more people that I created a 1 day only, so it will expire and kick you out unless you're a member. A 1 day only, free for all. Everybody can have it. Link to the Discord, so you can chat with us in the politics channel about Election Day.
And what else do they get if they sign up as a Status Coup member?
Hold on. So this is for everybody, member or not. You can email me at info@statuscoup.com, and I'll send you, again, member or not, this is for absolutely everybody, a link to the Discord so we can all talk Election Day. You can see the special pictures and stuff like that. I'm feeling generous on Election Day. We're all stressed out. We all need to chat with each other and calm down. So info@statuscoup.com. But if you want everything, absolutely everything you can get as a member, statuscoup.com/join. Okay, I'm gonna run over and get more.
For how much? How much a month?
$5 a month. It really adds up. It really helps us. statuscoup.com/join.
And are we sitting comfortably in a studio for that $5, or are we out in the trenches for the people?
We're out in the trenches for the people. The commenter who spoke before is totally right. You got Joe Rogan, Kyle Kulinski, which love Kyle Kulinski. He's great.
Don't forget Alex Jones is joining.
I know. That's what I'm saying. And Alex Jones, what the hell? You have a bunch of people going live today from Election Day, but are they going to be at the Wyman Biden party? No, they're not. That's us. statuscoup.com/join.
There you go. That's a good sell. That's a great sales job. I want to join. I want to join. By the way, it's really beautiful up here. I wish you guys could see it. The fall leaves, just beautiful colors on the trees. This is, I guess, a part of Luzerne County called Mountaintop. So we're literally kind of on top of a mountain. So very, very beautiful day. Could be a lot worse. You know, yesterday while we were driving here, there was actually some snow. There was actually some snow while we were driving here. So very, very interesting. But yeah, steady flow of people here at this Mountaintop House Company #1. There's also long lines I saw at a firehouse in Luzerne County. Obviously the elementary schools, the high schools, but it is a pretty steady traffic here in Luzerne County. I also think you're going to be seeing, if Trump's going to win, like I said at the beginning of the live stream, he's got to juice up the turnout in the western part of the state. We're in the northeastern part of the state. He's going to have to juice up the turnout in the western part of the state, particularly the southwest. So that's why Trump has been kind of zigzagging. He's been in Butler County and also the northwest part of the town. He's not going to win Pittsburgh, but surrounding Pittsburgh, that's kind of Trump country. So we'll see what happens. But, you know, it's interesting to me because you ask a lot of these Trump supporters about well, he said he was going to bring back manufacturing, this and that, and they don't particularly have an answer per se on that other than, yeah, it's coming. It's coming. It's like Game of Thrones. Winter is coming. So obviously, listen, globalization and the offshoring of jobs, it's been happening for 40 years. So it was just complete BS for any candidate to claim, yeah, we're going to bring the jobs back, lickety split, give us a year. But he hasn't particularly done anything that would bring the jobs back. It's not like he's penalizing corporations who are offshoring their jobs, which are, by the way, most of the donors to the Republican and Democratic Party. That's why I call it the United Corporations of America. Yeah, his tariffs kind of here or there hurt companies, but they just pass it off to their customers. So Trump never really took any action or policy that would penalize corporations or reward them for building here. And Biden, of course, you know, his little slogans about build back better, about, you know, making things in America. Biden's campaign is largely about, basically Biden's whole campaign, other than like characters on the ballot and all those moralistic things, Biden's entire campaign has basically been about proposing things that would fix the laws that he pushed. He agrees with Elizabeth Warren now on bankruptcy protections after he pushed the bankruptcy bill, which really disproportionately harmed working people and particularly single mothers and African Americans. He's pushing criminal justice reform after he's the father of the crime bill. And this is a man I voted for, by the way, but I'm just keeping it real. He's corrupt. He's a warmonger. I personally voted for him because I think Trump's a psychopath. But as I always said, I don't really think it's my role to tell you how to vote, to shame you how to vote. And I was never going to change how I do things. I call it like I see it. I just personally, for me, it was beyond a lesser of two evils. I think Trump's unhinged. I think he's a psycho. And I personally don't think he's joking when he talks about having more than 2 terms. I think if he got a second term, you could very much see him trying to extend that to however long he wants. And now he's got a 6-3 Supreme Court that would have allowed him to do it. However, that doesn't mean I think Biden is good. I also think it's kind of a fool's errand, really, for these progressive groups, progressives to say, get Trump out, and then we're going to fight like hell to move Biden left. Biden's not moving. If he was going to move, he'd move during the campaign. He picked a neoliberal corporatist like Kamala Harris. No one wants to talk, right?
No, I talked to an amazing woman who
Come
told
over.
her story, but she won't come on.
Well, let's recount her story.
Okay. So she had a foreign accent, wonderful woman. She said she's a Democrat, a black woman with her nephew, a 10-year-old. So she said she dropped off her mother at a different polling location at 6 a.m. And her mother waited 2 hours to vote. And her mother was so excited and proudly displayed her "I voted" sticker. So now she's in line to vote. Her nephew, of course, is 10. So he he can't vote himself, obviously, but he wanted to know what the process was like. So she picked him up, brought him here. He's standing in line with her. He wants to know what the process is. He wants to be part of it. So she's explained it to him, and he's going to watch the process. She's a Democrat, and just seems excited and like determined. So yeah.
Was she rah-rah for Biden, or more like, let's get Trump the hell out of here?
I didn't pry. The impression I get is Democrat, let's get Trump out.
Ask them how long it took. Oh, how long did it take you guys? Hour and 7 minutes. Wow. And that's at a polling place that is moving relatively smoothly. So it tells you, even at a polling place that isn't like 4 hours, hour and 7 minutes, still kind of long. But, you know, people are willing to do it. We should also say it's kind of just become a factor of life now. But yesterday in Pennsylvania, they had 2,800 cases of coronavirus. That's the highest number they've had since March and April. So coronavirus exploding here like it is all over the country. Frankly, whoever gets elected, it doesn't really seem like there's much of a plan. Biden is kind of hemmed and hawed about a mask mandate. I think if he does, since masks have become the new guns to conservatives, I think if he tries to do a mask mandate, it's going to be a civil war over a piece of cloth. But I digress. We'll see what happens.
Sarita, $4.99 in super chat. Cumberland County, PA, not counting mail-in ballots until tomorrow. F Trump, love you guys. Thank you, Sarita.
And by the way, 833 people watching. I'd like to get it to 1,000 personally. Can you do me the patriotic honor, even if you're not in America? Please, please, smash that like button. It's a thumbs up button right under the live stream. It's not for our ego. It actually helps juice up the numbers on YouTube because they're doing everything humanly possible to suppress us.
It also helps our ego. Swirly Swirl, $5 in super chat. If the lines are long, report it to pizza to the poll so people don't starve in line. Thanks for being on the ground. That's a great idea. That's a good.
I also agree with sending pizza just for us because we haven't eaten today.
Well,
by the way, behind the scenes, they tell me I starve them because I generally am not hungry because I'm having issues.
The reason you don't starve us is because I say, Jordan, we are going to food right now. Oh, none you given. Okay, Tom Bradburn, $20 in the super chat. Love you guys for being where the action is. Thank you so much, Tom. That really means a lot. That is the mission of Status Coup.
And by the way, I personally think like this isn't even the action. Not that like we're happy to be out. I think the action's coming later because my gut is based on the rallies I saw, based on the turnout I'm seeing here, not just at this polling place, but Luzerne County all day. I think it's going to be closer here in Pennsylvania than the, political pontificators have said. I think Philadelphia might be a problem for Biden because he needs to dramatically increase the turnout among Black and Latino voters that Hillary Clinton had. From the rumors and reporting we've heard over the last few days, there's a lack of enthusiasm for Uncle Joe. So I think it's going to be closer here. And I think the real action could be not just today, but over the next few days, because you better believe if Trump is winning by a decent margin here, the Republican Party, not just in the state, but nationally, is going to every single conservative lawyer in America that hasn't been bought off by the Lincoln Project is going to be working on court challenges all the way up to the Supreme Court to try to stop the counting of those mail-in ballots. So we shall see.
These super chats are rolling in. Keep them coming. They help so much. They help defray the cost of hotels and gas and food and live view streaming costs, which are enormous. Which that's the reason we're able to go live right now.
What we're streaming on right now is currently costing us $600 to $700 a month if we don't go over our data, which we've gone over our data 3 out of the 4 months. You might ask, well, Jordan, why don't you increase the data plan? Because money don't grow on trees. We have no corporate funding, no money for the big banks, no money from the fossil fuckers, big pharma, big real estate, Silicon Valley, military industrial complex. So we got to work within our humble means. But if we get more members, we could increase our data plan, we could increase our travel, our advertising, the whole nine.
Oh no. Marlo's thing went away, but I saw it. So Marlo, thank you so much. Marlo's super chat before it went away, it said, this is something about like lunch on me. Marlo, thank you. You're amazing. It was $19.99. Dale High Roller, $10 in the super chat. Keep up the good work. Bernie was our only shot at helping working Americans. Joe was bought by the banks, and Trump is a horrible man. Couldn't agree more. And okay, so keep the super chats coming. The GoFundMe. They want us to move away from the road. I know. I actually was wondering about that.
We're fine.
They kind
We're
of
not
have
go-
this.
If we get-
We're fine, but they kind of have this polling location at a dangerous.
Hey, if we get hit, that could go viral. That would be good.
Oh my God. Rashid Barnes, $15 to get Jordan a smoothie.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah. So 823.
Hold on. How'd it go, sir? Was it smooth?
Pardon me?
Was it smooth? How long was the wait to vote?
I didn't vote.
Oh, you didn't vote yet?
Sure.
Okay, got it. So he just was hanging out. He didn't vote.
just hanging out. This is the place to be. Well, it is a firehouse, so I guess that's the answer. Joseph says, so Status Coup is like most other streamers. I don't know.
Do you see most other streamers out in the field anywhere in America? No, we're not. Status Coup, if you're new here, we kind of cover what the corporate media covers up. We've been to Flint, I don't know, between the two of us, well over 20 times. We're continuing to cover the water crisis, which is 6.5 years in. We have been covering Black Lives Matter protests and the murders of black people, actually long before George Floyd. We were in Dallas, Chicago, other cities across America last year covering the murders of Botham Jean, a barber in Chicago and elsewhere. We've covered environmental catastrophe, environmental injustice. Our first story we covered under Status Coup, we went to Virginia to cover the fight against the Mountain Valley Pipeline, where literally American citizens were building tree houses on their property and protesting atop their trees, refusing to come down, so the fossil fuckers could not cut down their tree and build a natural gas pipeline under their property. We've covered so many issues. We were in Detroit and Ohio last year covering 15,000 General Motors workers laid off after GM got a $51 billion bailout. So we've been everywhere, and we're going to continue. And we're finally, it's been coronavirus has definitely slowed us down a bit, like everybody else, but we're growing. We're just past 93,000 subscribers. We want to hit 100,000 before the end of the year. We would love to get our membership up to 2,000. Right now we're about 1,700 paid members, and membership is how we grow. I mean, that's why we set it as low as $5 a month. You might think $5 a month is insignificant. It's not. Every single person who supports us at $5 a month makes a big difference. How long did you wait, sir? An hour. So an hour here. So we're getting most people waiting an hour, which compared to other parts of the country is not so bad.
OG Chris Garrett, $5 in super chat, starting the hot chocolate fund. Thank you so much. Colorado Snow, $19.99 in the super chat. Thank you. Love these super chats so much. Someone said something really funny. I can't find it. Mr. Methuselah, thanks for your on-ground election coverage. Jen found gloves. No, I gave Jordan my gloves because he was holding the mic and I wasn't. So he didn't want gloves today. But we bought gloves. We bought 3 gloves. We have 3 gloves now. 3 sets.
And for people that came to this live stream later, the plan for the rest of the day, we're going to go to a couple other polling places, see if there's anything cracking. Then tonight, I kind of feel twisted on this. There's a big Democratic Party shindig here in Luzerne County. I think they're having a DJ or something. I personally, my favorite thing to do is not go to a corporate neoliberal Democratic Party shindig.
So fun.
However, it's better than a super spreader. I don't know of any like Trump things here. If we see like a Bikers for Trump thing, maybe we'll go there. But we might go to this Democratic Party shindig because there's 2 possibilities. Number one, Biden wins in a landslide and we see neoliberal dancing and having fun. That could be interesting, I guess. We wouldn't rain on their parade, but we'd certainly ask them, well, now what? You got the Republican warmonger in who won't tweet, but what's he going to do? On the other end, if it's close, or if the result looks like Trump is winning significantly here, then you're going to have a lot of upset neoliberal Democrats who, we obviously would want to talk to. So I think that's what we're going to do tonight, but everything's fluid. We'll just have to see how things go.
So some news just came in. A judge has ordered a sweep of 12 postal districts. As of now, the Postal Service has said that 30,000 ballots have not been scanned for delivery. So they are kind of putting a rush on putting through these ballots.
And this is in Pennsylvania.
No, not in Pennsylvania. I don't see where.
In Alaska, Sarah Palin's district, to be specific. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my God. Yeah, I don't see it specifying where, but this article just came in, so I'm really just skimming.
But I think this is important because honestly, unless Biden wins by a real landslide where it's just not even close, I mean, I think this is really going to be a legal clusterfuck. I really do. The Republicans have been just building a legal swamp of attorneys, Democrats too. The Republicans, I mean, there was a story out the other day. The Republican strategy has just been to start preparing lawsuits here in Pennsylvania, elsewhere. And the Supreme Court, even though the Supreme Court refused to make a decision on the Republican Party in Pennsylvania's request to not allow a 3-day extension after Election Day to count the mail-in ballots here in Pennsylvania, the Supreme Court did say, it could be revisited after the election. Well, what does that mean? After the election, like tonight? After the election tomorrow? So the Supreme Court kind of left it open that they might not be done with Pennsylvania. So we'll see. We'll see. Anything else?
Not that I can think of. I think, a lot of people are anxious today. Nobody knows what will happen. Everybody's on edge. Yeah, I think
that's a good way. That's a good segue. That if they're all anxious and on edge, why don't they be anxious and on edge together in the Status Coup Discord?
The Discord.
Get in the Discord. We have multiple channels: politics, pop culture, some other things I won't get into, and you could.
Nothing. You always say that like it's a weird thing. It's simply about Jordan's poop. Like
my constipation. So. Become a member, statuscoup.com/join, and you'll get in our Discord. Let's see if we can get one more person before we wrap up. Maybe that guy in the blue sweater.
Oh, the line's wrapping the other way.
Right there, straight. Maybe you'll ask. So, like you're hearing, an hour or so for people to vote, so that's not bad. I would venture to guess in Philadelphia in particular, it's a lot longer. Pittsburgh, it might be longer, these big cities. But an hour here is not bad. We'll see what happens because Luzerne County, it went for Obama in 2012. So it could go either way. It could be that it stays with Trump, but not by the nearly 20 percentage points as he won in 2016 here. And it could potentially go for Trump, but him lose his margins. Another one declining.
I asked a bunch of
I'll tell you, people just don't want to talk. You want to talk, sir? Okay, you were looking. People seem a little shy, and which is, it's not like a rally. They're going to vote, so you're definitely going to have people less likely or interested. Status Coup, we're a YouTube channel. We're live right now. Got about 800 people watching. So, it remains to be seen. I think that really this whole election, I do think Trump's going to win Florida. I always thought it was kind of wishful thinking that Biden was going to win Georgia or Texas. I don't see that happening. So if Trump wins Florida and he wins Pennsylvania, he's in the game. He has a pathway if he wins Pennsylvania and Georgia. Pennsylvania and Florida. Remember, I said this earlier, but Nate Silver has said, he's a geek, he's an elitist, but he's pretty good on numbers. He said if Biden loses Pennsylvania, he actually becomes the underdog. So that's why you've seen Biden here for the last 3 or 4 states barnstorming. But Trump has been really, really, everywhere. 3 days ago, I think he hit 4 places in Pennsylvania. He was back here yesterday at the super spreader event we were at. And, I think both of the candidates know that Pennsylvania can make or break it. I think Biden knows if he wins Pennsylvania, he's really he's making it nearly impossible for Trump to win.
You know who coined barnstorming?
No.
Corbyn.
Corbyn.
Trent.
Really? Mm-hmm. I've heard barnstorming
For
before
Bernie.
that.
No.
Oh, barnstorming for Bernie. Yes, yes.
No, but he coined barnstorming, the term.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
Corbyn. A little tidbit.
Corbyn. So, yeah, I think that's it for now. I think we're going to be live. You know, we really don't know. We might be live in another hour. It just depends what the other polling places look like. I will say, if you're new to Status Coup, obviously subscribe to this channel. Also, you could get on our text message list. So that way, when we're live, you'll get a text when we're live. Because I promise you, if you're familiar with other channels you subscribe to, maybe you got a 4 out of 10 chance that YouTube will notify you when we're live. If they notify you, it might be in the next calendar year. So definitely sign up for our text list. You could do that right now. Text COUP to 370-370. That's COUP to 370-370.
Get your phone out right now before you forget.
Yes. COUP to 370-370. And of course, I know that you've been bombarded with politicians asking you for money, nonprofits asking you for money, you know, every group known to man emailing you for money. We try not to do that every single day, but we really appreciate the GoFundMe donations because, frankly, times are tough economically. We have lost some paid members. So the GoFundMe contributions have allowed us to pay for John behind the camera. He's gone to some events just on his own, did some good reporting in Philadelphia last week. It's helped us to continue advertising, which has helped us grow our Twitter. Equipment costs, travel, it all costs money. Obviously, you know, Jen, myself, Colin, we're not like a one-person team. So we definitely appreciate your support. Want to talk, sir? Chat? Okay. People look, but they don't want to talk.
All of them.
Okay. So, yeah, but we'll keep you up to date. You can follow us at Status Coup. We'll give you updates later. But for right now, I do think from this polling place, but also what I've seen on social media and the media, this county in particular, which was, again, Trump took 3 counties in Pennsylvania from Obama and switched it to Republican and him. This county was one of them. It looks, at least to me, the turnout is high here and other polling places in Luzerne County. So we'll see. The other one is Northampton County, which is about an hour from here. I'm not there, but we'll see if the turnout is high. And Erie County, which is across the state, northwest. We'll see what happens. But this line, it's now forming the other way. But this line has been steady all day, really. And if even midday, usually the busier times are morning and, 4 or 5 o'clock after work. But it's still, still a decent line just midday. So that's, if you're Trump, you want a steady flow in this county and other Republican strongholds. The day is young. I believe, it's definitely still open to some fuckery. So we'll see what happens.
Thank you to Amo Snyder, $10 Canadian from Canada Status Coup. You guys are doing amazing work. Just want to contribute and support you and your crew to have a hearty meal, keep warm. Thank you. We really appreciate that.
And by the way, to my friend in Canada, my wife has been lobbying me to try to get Canadian citizenship because I do have family in Canada. My grandpa was born there, just as a backup plan if the United Corporations of America, totally combust.
Which is indeed a possibility. Chibi Roxanne, $24.99. Thank you guys. Take care. Thank you so much. It really, really helps. We appreciate it.
We very much appreciate it. Let's do a lightning round, actually, because we do have a decent audience.
Okay.
If they have any questions, comments, concerns that they want to know about what's happening here in Pennsylvania, what we think about other places.
Did you curse?
Oh, I've been cursing like a sailor.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Bad Jordan.
Fuck Trump. Fuck Biden.
Swear jar. Yeah, lightning round. Ask us questions. Whatever. Keep super chats coming. Yeah, so I don't know what's going to happen tonight. I do think we'll probably end up going to that party. Obviously, they're going to be like, if you're going to a Biden specific party, then you're probably going to be very, very pro Biden. So I don't know how many people are going to be there.
But I'll tell you, in my experience, these like local Democratic Party parties always have a big mix of 1970s music. It's always 1970s music, maybe some 80s. Hillary Clinton had it. Biden has it. It's like best hits of the 1970s.
I'm really excited, to be honest. I think it's going to be good. They did mention social distancing. Like, this is going to be lit.
Lit. Lit and the Democratic Party, not sure about that.
I do have my vape pen if needed.
That's good. Very good. You want to try that MAGA guy before we go? See if he'll talk?
I can't even really get there.
I'll try. So you see the line is still kind of circling around. That's where the massive Trump-Pence sign is. There's a smaller Biden-Harris sign down there. I don't know. Doesn't seem like 10 feet away, but I could be wrong. So we'll see. But steady line. We do have a proud Trump supporter here. Sir, can I ask you a question? We're a YouTube channel just talking to voters out here. What do you think of the president's chances?
They're great.
They're great, he says. Okay. Well, you would want a confident Trump supporter. So I think we're going to wrap it up. We will keep you posted on the rest of the day, what we're going to do. And please, keep us in mind.
Hagavad says, get your record players ready. I love that. That's really funny.
Oh, is that Biden told you to get your record players?
Record play. That's really funny.
By the way, I just want to say, Biden, I don't think I tweeted it, but Biden, was it yesterday or the other day? Had another, what do they call it in the corporate media? Gaffe?
It was bad.
This was beyond the gaffe. He literally, it's like a combination of forgetting where he is and forgetting who he is. It was not a stutter. It was completely just for 20 seconds. Where? Why do you think that? Oh, Biden campaign lady. Okay. So there's a Biden campaign person or just voter. Who knows? So, yeah, I guess so. Can I ask you a question, man? So I see back to the blue. What are you thinking in Luzerne? Because obviously it went for Trump last time.
Well, a lot has changed since 2016, quite honestly. Democrats are really energized. They were not so much back then. A lot of Republicans have come forward and said that they don't like what's been happening the past 4 years, and they're coming out to vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris today. So we're feeling very encouraged at this point.
What about Philadelphia? Because there's been a little kind of chatter that there might be less enthusiasm there among Black and Latino voters.
Well, I don't really know about Philadelphia because this is, our area. I can tell you among the African American and the Latinx communities here in Luzerne County, a lot of enthusiasm. We just came from Hazleton. The number of Latinx voters out there is phenomenal, and they're supporting Biden principally. So we're excited here. We can't speak to Philly, but can definitely speak to the energy here in Luzerne County.
And, are you concerned at all? The president's kind of signaled that if he's up tonight with the mail-in ballots remaining, that he might come out, in his own little world, declare victory.
Well, you know what? I've been worried about that for a while because he has been signaling that for quite a while. The thing that I think all Americans have to understand, it was only with the television age that we started this concept of election night results. Prior to that, it would be days or even weeks before the winner was determined. We have now switched to, generally across the country, mail-in voting. We have to wait for those votes to be counted. It's not just the tabs of the polls anymore. So I'm hoping that he does the right thing. I hope he remains presidential and, like all Americans, has the patience to wait and see what the real vote count is before anything's decided.
And lastly, besides character and, not being Trump, what do you think Biden would do for Pennsylvania? Obviously, one of the core deindustrialized areas in the country.
Well, number one, it's all about jobs, jobs, jobs. Here in northeastern Pennsylvania, specifically here in Luzerne County, 4 years ago, Donald Trump came here and said he was going to bring these great jobs, these family-sustaining jobs, these union jobs. They're not here. We know that Joe Biden knows that union jobs, family-sustaining jobs are the key to making the middle class thrive. And they're very important here to us. We have older voters here really concerned about their Social Security, really concerned about their Medicaid. They're voting for that, and they're looking to him for help. But more than anything else, people have been coming forth and saying there has been a lack of leadership, particularly on COVID-19 as the pandemic continues, as the spikes continue, and they feel that Joe Biden has the knowledge, the leadership, and the compassion that's required to get us through the rest of this safely.
Any specifics on what Biden would do, or just kind of, it just seems like jobs have been offshored for 30, 40 years, partly because of NAFTA and those things. I haven't heard much in the way of specifics to bring those jobs, factories reopening, jobs.
Well, it's getting back to made in America. And instead of offshoring everything else, trying to bring jobs back to America at living wages, family-sustaining wages, where somebody can get a mortgage on a house, put food on the table, and live a comfortable life. That's what the American dream is all about. That's what Joe Biden is fighting for.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah. So that's Biden. Seems like a Democratic Party person, probably working for Biden's campaign or somebody. A lot of talking points, as you saw, but not really trying to get into a duel here at the polling place. But when you whether it's Trump supporters, when you ask them for specifics per se, on anything, it just kind of is a deflection. They'll either go to Hunter Biden or, I don't know, they'll go to Hunter Biden or Hillary's emails or something entirely different. And if you ask Biden or Democratic Party supporters specifics, I just ask specifically, how's he going to do it? You just kind of get these talking points that are literally political parties every day email out. These are the talking points for the days. So you've heard this from Biden supporters: jobs, 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 made in America, blah, blah, blah. But there's nothing underneath that because they have no plan for that. And more importantly, not only do they not have a plan for it, but frankly, that's just not permitted within the United Corporations of America. The Wall Street financiers, the real estate developers, the pharmaceutical people, the fossil fuel people, all of the donors that have just flooded money to Joe Biden, I mean, that's not in their economic interest to start making things in America again, to stop offshoring jobs. And, this woman knows that, obviously. And the people supporting Joe Biden know that. It's all kind of a ruse. It's kind of a grift. And that's why I asked specifically, other than character, other than the moralistic thing, is what's he going to do specifically? And there was, no real specifics there.
Our audience is so smart. They saw right through all of the talking points.
Yes. I was I think I was kinder than I normally am. I just didn't want to particularly get in a jousting match at a polling place.
No, of course. And they weren't criticizing you, but I think that speaks to how in tune with reality our audience in particular is.
I also think something she said that kind of gives it away is she said, we got to try to bring those jobs back. Okay, well, you could try to do anything, but I mean, your donors don't want you to bring those jobs back. They don't want high-paying jobs with benefits in the United States. So that's why it's just this whole charade of, George Carlin talked about this a lot. It's just kind of it's performance theater, really. What am I looking at?
I want to clarify it.
Okay. It's kind of performance theater. Right now you got Biden, the characters on the ballot, the soul of the nation, blah, 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 blah. But there's nothing really underneath that. And the Democratic Party likes it that way. They like it when they don't have to actually run on any meat and potato issues, anything of substance, a vision. It's just Bush is worse. We got to get Bush out.
Right.
McCain, worse. Got to get McCain out. Romney, Gordon Gekko. Got to keep Obama. Hillary, Trump, awful. Hillary. But there's no real effort. I mean, really, if you think about it, since maybe George McGovern was the nominee, to have a bold vision, to have specifics. And, that's obviously part of why Status Coup exists, to basically just call bullshit on all of them. So,
Yeah, absolutely. $33.33 from Suffragium. Thank you. I'm Hispanic. What the heck does Latinx mean? This is for Jordan Swearjar. Keep it up. Yeah, I've heard.
it's a new buzz phrase that's been used among the Democratic Party.
I have often heard Suffragium that that a lot of Hispanic folks do not like Latinx and are like, what the fuck? It means nothing. Mr. Justice, 25 Swiss bucks. Thank you for your important work. I'm following you since DAPL. Keep on fighting. Cheers from Switzerland. That's awesome.
Love our friends in Switzerland.
Tanya H, 10 euros. Thank you so much, and cool sticker. You guys are great. Keep it up for sure. We really appreciate it. You can also support us through the GoFundMe. Yeah, so.
And by the way, the other thing is, like I asked her about Philadelphia, because Philadelphia right now, there's been reports that there's just not a lot of enthusiasm for Uncle Joe among black voters, among Latino voters. So she's like, well, I don't know anything about Philadelphia. Yeah, you do. You do. You just don't want to talk about it because there's no enthusiasm for Biden.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. They want to keep up appearances and ignore the things that don't look so great for them.
But I hope that the Democratic Party of Luzerne County didn't see that interview and we're not disinvited from the soiree tonight. The soiree with the disco that's definitely going to have 1970s best of music. So we're looking forward to it. So the line's still going pretty strong. It's been steady. Like I said, what time is it now? Yeah, I think 4:30, you're going to start seeing even more lines because people are starting to leave work. But, not a shock that at polling places it's pretty much pulling teeth to get anyone to talk. But really, this is why, and by the way, a full behind the scenes. This is why when I started at the Young Turks, I was talking to Cenk about what it is we wanted to do, like how I was going to cover the campaign of 2016, that was, because I was going to be going out for the Young Turks in the field, all that. And, he suggested, well, we should talk to campaign people and pundits and other journalists. And I'm like, why the fuck would I do that? I said to him, well, you hired me, so I'll do whatever you want. But, we're just going to get a bunch of robots giving canned talking points. And when you actually, pull their strings, they get all discombobulated, which is what we just saw. So I was like, why don't we go out and talk to real people? Nobody really does that. CNN does focus groups with real people that kind of seem very scripted. So that's why we try to stay away from party officials because it's just, what does Roger Stone say? Politics is like Hollywood for ugly people or something like that.
Yeah.
So not that I'm a fan of Roger Stone, but that's a very good documentary.
He's a genius. He's a horrible, monstrous genius.
Yes.
Max Prince, can you send me that? I have not seen the email from Hunter, and I don't have time to look for it.
Email from who?
Hunter to Daddy. Info@statuscoup.com. I don't have time to look for it, but
Hunter Biden sent an email to who?
I guess it's another leaked thing to Joe. Lloyd Trackwell says Status Quo has gone the way of Jimmy Dore. No. It's ridiculous.
Last time I checked, Jimmy Dore is not voting for Biden or acknowledging he's voting for Biden. And I'm pretty sure Jimmy Dore has not left his studio. God bless him. Love you, Jimmy. So I don't really know what the way of Jimmy Dore is. Do you want me to lie to you? Do you want me to tell you how wonderful Biden is? I don't really. These people that kind of want journalists to just pause journalism based on the calendar date. I don't understand those people.
What?
I personally voted for Biden, and I got a lot of shit for it. With that said, I'm not going to just stop covering him critically because the election's coming. That's called political partisanship. That's not journalism. You don't, change the way you cover things because the election's in 2 weeks. Maybe you would like that as a person who wants Trump out. Totally get it. My wife would probably like me to tone it down a little bit because she desperately wants Trump out. But I think you have to have integrity as a journalist, which means you got to be honest and call it like you see it. So that's why I've said, listen, I didn't only hold my nose, I might have had to have whiskey, but I voted for Biden. I don't tell people how to vote. It's not a vote that because I support him, it's a vote because I came to the decision that Trump needs to go. and I'd rather fight Biden and like Neera Tanden and the corporate Democratic establishment than Trump and like the Proud Boys and QAnon and whatever other conspiracy white supremacist groups pop up. But I don't really understand that like we're going the way of Jimmy. Frankly, I love Jimmy, but I definitely don't think we've gone to that level, because Jimmy obviously is a little more scorched earth in terms of burn it all down. I'd rather, you know, the way to destroy the Democratic Party is to continue to vote against it. But I just disagree with him for a lot of reasons. First and foremost, strategically, I don't buy this argument that if you withhold your vote for the Democratic Party and make that a thing where they aren't guaranteed to have your vote, then they'll magically start moving your way. No, that's assuming that the Democratic Party's first priority is winning, which I think is the wrong assumption. Democratic Party's first priority is to maintain the status quo, hence why we created the Status Coup. So Democratic Party lost to an orange orangutan car salesman in 2016. Did they move left? No, they continued to move right. So why do you think if you withheld your vote now and they lost again, that they would magically start going towards Medicare for all and the things we want? That's a pipe dream. I think if anything, if Biden were to lose, I think we're going to get a lot more of the Russiagate, doubling and tripling down. Russia stole the election, you know, coming up with excuses rather than a full mea culpa that the days of the Democratic corporate establishment where we just hand over the keys to America, to Wall Street, and the special interest is over. I just don't see that happening. So I don't know this mentality of, I mean, if you don't want to vote for Biden, that's okay. I mean, vote for whoever you want. But if you're not voting for Biden because you think it's magically going to, you know, the less vote, if Trump wins again, that it will really burn down, I don't think the Democratic Party, if they lose, they lose. They're just going to continue to make a lot of money as the resistance to Trump. MSNBC will continue to make a lot of money. The think tanks will continue to make a lot of money. The consultants will continue to make a lot of money, because it's all an organized grift. That's what it is.
Guillermo, I'm surprised you were invited. Guillermo, if I have no other talent, it's that I can sound really sweet and really ditzy and get into places.
Were we invited? Is it like an invite-only thing?
No, but like
it's an open house
to get like the info.
Oh yeah.
Amatera Sue, $10 in the super chat. Great job all this election cycle. Stay safe.
And by the way, I just want to make a point here for those of you that are new to the Status Coup. We've been going since really November or December on this election. I first started in South Bend, Indiana. I was one of the few reporters that I know that actually went to South Bend during the Democratic primary and actually exposed who little PD really was. We were there. We showed
CIA Pete.
just literally, you got to watch this video we did. I forget the name. Just Google Pete Buttigieg, 1,000 houses in 1,000 days, Status Coup. We went around South Bend and we saw, oh, this whole branding campaign that he's brought South Bend back. Yeah, he brought 4 blocks back. He beautified it, spent millions of dollars to make downtown nice, and then he left the rest of the city to burn. And he literally demolished 1,000 homes in predominantly poor Black and Latino areas in 1,000 days. It's literally a city of vacant lots. It's really disturbing. So watch that. Then we hit the trail. I was in Iowa. I was in New Hampshire, South Carolina. You were in Nevada, Michigan. I was in California for Super Tuesday. So we've been going since the primary. Obviously, the primary did not end the way most of our viewers would like it, nor us, but we thought it was important to be out there. I was in Iowa during what I actually think that was one of Bernie's biggest mistakes. If we want to do a little more PTSD, Bernie, I think Iowa was his biggest mistake, and I'll tell you why. Can you imagine for a second if Donald Trump during the Iowa caucus won the popular vote, if the results were shown like they were this time, and then like the RNC with their app started fucking around and trying to take away votes from satellite locations, which is what happened. Tom Perez was trying to take away votes from the satellite locations, which went to Bernie. And if All of a sudden, they couldn't come up with the results because the app wasn't working, this and that. Donald Trump would go scorched earth. He would literally be declaring the Republican Party a bunch of criminal cheaters. He would file lawsuits and all that. Bernie's campaign said, we won the popular vote. We're moving on to New Hampshire. No. What that did was allowed the media to essentially declare Pete Buttigieg, who, by the way, the media is very aghast that Donald Trump said he would come out before the results are out. But when Pete Buttigieg literally went out with no results and declared himself the winner of the Iowa caucus, everybody was fine with it. But by Bernie not challenging the Iowa results, that the media claimed that Pete technically won because he had more, I don't remember what it was, some type of delegates. That gave Pete Buttigieg 4 or 5 days of media coverage as the winner of the Iowa caucus. Why is that important? I went to New Hampshire next. He went up 10 points in a week in the polls. Bernie only won New Hampshire by a point. Well, when you get millions of dollars of free advertising as the winner of the Iowa caucus, then all of a sudden your rallies before the New Hampshire primary get a lot bigger. I remember being online interviewing people outside of Pete's rally in New Hampshire. A lot of the people were saying, yeah, I'm decided to check him out since he won Iowa. He didn't win Iowa. Only in America do you lose by 6,000 votes and you declared the winner. It's perplexing. So, another flashback to the primary. What were you making a big thing about?
Well, so now I have to find it. Hold on. You went on a rant, so now I have to find what I was screenshotting. Let's talk for just a second. Hold on.
Talk. Okay.
Oh, no. Okay. Fun fact by a 5 cent. Luzerne is a Swiss city. So Luzerne County was founded by Swiss immigrants.
So where's the chocolate?
That's a great question. Simon Carr, £5 in the super chat. Keep up the good work, Jordan and co-host. I'm Jen. Love and support from the UK.
Not only co-host, co-founder of Status Coup.
Yay, go Status Coup. Max Prince, you are a psycho.
What is that?
If you have a wiener and you go in the bathroom with my daughters, I will remove your wiener. You are an absolute psychotic freak.
What is he talking about?
I have no idea.
Max, I think you need help.
This is a joke of a channel and fun.
Joke of a channel? Why, thank you. I appreciate it. It's a joke of a channel that's heading towards 100,000 subscribers.
Oh, Cosmic. Okay, Cosmic is fussing with me because I haven't sent him the link yet. Cosmic, dude, you see me. Here I am. Not able to send you a link, but I will.
To what, Discord?
Love you. I can't send it. I'm literally on air.
And by the way, people email us like we're just laying in bed drinking margaritas. You didn't send a link yet. This, that, the other thing. We're 2 people. We don't have any help. None. So I digress.
You're funny. You guys are really funny. You've been making me laugh today. Oh, I Love JD is saying Jordan and Jen are rich kids with a lot to lose. You couldn't be further from the truth.
I'm rich. I'm a rich kid with a lot to lose. Okay. If I was a rich kid, I don't know why I'm working so hard 7 days a week. But if you find my bank account from the Cayman Islands, please let me know the account number. I'd love to hear it.
But in general, so I pulled out some of you, some trolls, but also some funny kids. You guys have been keeping me laughing.
And by the way, it's a good sign. If you have more trolls, that means you're growing. The more trolls you get to the channel, that means you're growing. I'm assuming we have more trolls because we were live from the Trump. That wasn't even a super spreader. That was, by the way, for members, we have a members video because we showed you the buses behind the Trump rally. So it's not bad enough. Apparently they don't want to only make them sick. They want to really just kill them. They have these rallies. I think it was about 10,000 people yesterday in Wilkes-Barre, literally packed like sardines. My guess is 2 out of 10 people were wearing masks. 10,000 people packed, not wearing a mask on the same day that you had 2,800 cases in Pennsylvania. Then after, they have a line full of buses with these same people not wearing masks. So you're packing them outside and then you're packing them inside a bus. What could go wrong?
No, don't worry, Cosmic Rider. Much love. I just think it's funny. Critician says, don't read the idiot trolling. Well, I only read it because I think it's hilarious. Otherwise, I wouldn't. I don't let it bother me.
All right. So before we wrap up, a couple public service announcements. Please, if you're new to Status Coup, hit that subscribe button right under the live stream. You can click the bell and press all notifications. Supposedly YouTube will notify you if you do that. We'll see. Also, we will be live later. It's either going to be from this Democratic Party soiree or somewhere else. The day is young. We'll just follow the news, see what's happening, where we should be tonight. If you can, please sign up as a Status Coup member, statuscoup.com/join. You could sign up for as low as $5 a month. That would be 16 cents a day. We really appreciate every single member. And like Jen said, if you sign up today, you get invited into the Discord. But right now, we're making Discord available for everybody just for the day. So, but we hope you'll sign up as a member, statuscoup.com/join. And lastly, if you're already a member, or even if you're not, please support us if you can. We understand some people can't right now at our GoFundMe, which somebody, if you can, drop the link in the super chat. That's really, really important. We need extra funding to continue to cover these stories in the field. I'm not going to call this the biggest election of our lifetime because I don't think it is. Frankly, I think we need to start working outside of electoral politics, which we've been talking about a lot. You see the line now forming a little longer here in Luzerne. I think we need to start moving, whether Biden wins or Trump wins re-election, towards economic boycotts, economic strikes, organizing in terms of economics. If you strike Amazon for a week, you bring the country to down to its knees. Same thing with fast food, corporate banking. We need not only to march and challenge President Biden or Trump, you need to challenge the donors. You need to challenge the plutocracy, the oligarchy. If you hit them in the wallet, if you shrink their quarterly profits, if you threaten their profits, they'll start telling their servants, which are the politicians, you need to give the proletariat something. That's actually what happened in the 1950s, 60s, and beginning part of the 70s, when we had strong labor unions in this country, which we don't anymore because of a coordinated effort of the Republican Party with the Democratic Party helping them. Bill Clinton, Obama, they also crushed unions through NAFTA, trying to push TPP, normalizing trade relations with China, and making it harder to collectively bargain. And that's hurt Pennsylvania and other areas in the Rust Belt, Midwest, deindustrialized America. So we need to get back to those days. Maybe it won't be through, getting unions back, but we need to make it so that workers feel that they do feel safe and they do feel comfortable striking because there's strength in numbers. And it's not just, physically striking. It's all of us deciding, is Amazon such a necessity that we can't go without it? Because if people come together to go after the Amazons, the fast food chains, the banks, not violently, but just through your wallet, trust me, you'll see change. One example I always love to use, the Washington football team owner, it used to be by the name of a inappropriate name towards Native Americans. He said a couple years ago, over my dead body, I'm not changing the name. Well, all of a sudden you get this organized campaign by a lot of Native Americans, but also other activists pressuring the sponsors, FedEx, other corporations that sponsor the football team in Washington. Oh, eureka! He's seen the light. He changes the name. Now it's called the Washington football name. That might sound like nothing. It might sound like a small, insignificant example, but that's how public pressure economically works. And that's why that Daniel Snyder, who owns the Washington football team, decided to change the name. There's a lot of Daniel Snyders who bought off our government and our politicians.
Dan Snyder, disgusting actions surrounding the Washington, I almost said their bad name, the cheerleaders. Horrible.
Yes. A lot of sexual harassment and other accusations within that organization, too. So my point is, if you start hitting the donors, if you hurt Jeff Bezos, you better believe he's getting on the phone with Biden's Treasury Secretary, the Commerce Secretary, every secretary known to man, and saying, Joe, give them what they want. I don't want any more of my money. I don't want to have to sacrifice 10 yachts this year. I'm not moving down to 9 yachts. I want that 10th yacht. Oh, you're telling me I'm going to have to get a house with 23 bathrooms rather than 25? No. So that's the deal. Anyway, anything else before we go?
Yeah, 10 screenshots worth since you started. Okay. Sire, $6.99 Canadian. Thank you so much. Keep up the great work. Love Status Coup. You know you're growing and doing something right when you have more haters. That's for sure.
As the great Franklin Delano Roosevelt once said, I invite your hatred. Bring it on.
Thomas Sermon, real quick. Cy Hirsch. You need to look up what he most recently said, because that's not what he said, and he said something that debunks that. Okay.
Is that another Seth Rich truther?
Yeah. I love JD. No, Jordan's not pro-warmonger. No.
I'm not who?
Pro-warmonger.
Who's a pro-warmonger?
You, apparently. But he's not. No.
Can I just say, honestly, I've had enough. To these, like, little brains...
Back to my screenshot.
Oh, to these little brains who, because I don't agree with you on something, this is the problem with the progressive movement, and this is probably why the progressive movement will stay a minority in the country, because the progressive movement, the Puritans in the progressive movement, the ones that would call me, of all people, a sellout because I voted for Biden, are so focused on being pure that they don't understand how to actually seize power. To me, you can disagree in the progressive movement without being a sellout. If you start seeing me do corporate sponsorships for Goldman Sachs, then we could talk. But the fact that I came to a personal decision to, yes, support somebody who is a warmonger, who is corrupt, who is bought off, I acknowledge those things. I came to that decision not because I support him, but because I think Trump is genuinely a psychopath. I think Trump, who was taking joyrides around Walter Reed while having a deadly contagious virus, while with a deadly contagious virus, walked back into the White House without a mask. Who would refuse to say when was the last time he was tested before they publicly announced that he had coronavirus. Why? Because he probably was tested and positive before he walked onto the debate stage with Biden. I mean, I could go down the list of just psychotic things Trump is doing, these super spreader events. So, you know, there's something called nuance. You could recognize the threat and the corruption and the threat of the neoliberal corporate Democratic Party. I do recognize it. But, you know, I don't believe in lesser of two evils, but I do believe in reality. I don't think it's a smart thing to give a wannabe fascist. He's not as effective as, let's say, a Mussolini or worse, but he's obviously a wannabe dictator. I don't think it's a good thing to give that person more time, particularly when they're joking about serving more than 2 terms. So if you ask me, if I got to fight one of them, who do I want to fight? Joe Biden and Neera Tanden? Joe Biden and Lawrence Summers? Joe Biden and Rachel Maddow, or whoever he's going to be, you know, singing and dancing with? Or Donald Trump and QAnon? Or Donald Trump and the Proud Boys? Or Donald Trump and Bolsonaro? Yeah, I'll take the former. That's me personally. If you don't agree, God bless. You vote for whoever you want. But this whole sellout thing is why we're going to be in the minority, because people in the progressive, and some, frankly, in the media, in progressive media, just want to scream. They just want to rant. They just want to attack people who aren't as pure as them. When in reality, what the fuck have they ever done? Seriously. Like the people saying you're a sellout, this and that, that's fine to say that. But frankly, these people saying that, I haven't seen them in Flint, Michigan 16 times. I haven't seen them all over the country actually in the trenches showing you the root of the corruption. So until you're out there, piss off.
Yeah.
Anything else?
All right.
Oh, you got me upset.
Let's see. Why did I do that one? Guillermo, I can't do a monthly, but I can do a few bucks here and there. I wanted to let you know how much we appreciate that, for sure. You know, not everyone can give a ton of money. I want to let you know, $1, like $5. We appreciate absolutely everything. So thank you so much. Mr. Justice, 15 Swiss bucks. I don't know what they're really called, sorry. Yes, the original Luzerne is in Switzerland. Unfortunately, the Swiss immigrants did not export our working multi-party democracy to the U.S. Yeah, we really wish you did. We ran into some journalists from Denmark yesterday, and we wanted them to take us with them, for sure. 50 pounds from Jacqueline de Blue. Other fun fact. I love fun facts. Luzerne is a French word meaning alfalfa. I love that. That is a great fun fact.
One of my heroes from Little Rascals, Alfalfa.
Oh, yeah, alfalfa with this.
Thank you so much, Jacqueline, our BFF from across the pond. We really appreciate it.
We
Keep
do.
those. And by the way, just because we're signing off, you could go on the GoFundMe anytime you want. Those folks who are watching, we really appreciate it. Statuscoup.com/join, as well as the GoFundMe. Support us. Hey, we might be here longer than today. It really depends how things go. It might be a Biden landslide, or it might be a nail biter with a clusterfuck of court challenges. We really don't know, so we're just going to be here as long as it takes. Before we go, again, one way or the other, we'll be back later. We don't know from where. We're just seeing how the day goes. So definitely be on our text list. And that's it. We appreciate your support.
Hold on, we're still going. Anat, yeah. So I need to send, Jacqueline, I need to send you my Nigel Farage thing for sure. Thank you so much, Justin Lips Watson, $5 in the super chat. Keep up the great work. From Jordan's work in Flint and Jen streaming from the police riots, the info you've brought us has been fantastic. Thank you so, so much, Justin. We really, really appreciate you. MKIP, so you is saying that you live in Luzerne. Come to the Biden shindig with us. Email info@statuscoup.com, and I'll drop you the address. Yeah, so that's it. I guess we're wrapping up.
Yeah, I think it's good to have your first meal at 4 o'clock Eastern time.
Yeah.
I am starting to get a little hungry, and I think everybody here might be a little hungry. So thanks for watching. We'll be back later, and we'll see what happens on this election day in the United Corporations of America. Peace out.
Bye, guys.